Hey guys, Sandy here, and welcome to another scrapbooking process video on my channel. Today I am going to be scrapbooking these two photos. This is outside of the Hyperion Theater in Disneyland. So I have these two frozen pictures, one of the banners and then one up close of the steps. And I am going to be scrapbooking with this pre-made sheet from Vicki Boutin, and it is not blue and icy colored. So I just wanted to see if I could create a frozen layout with non-frozen colors and see if I liked it. So let's see what I can do. This layout definitely turns into a less is more kind of thing. And I think that I kind of combat that a little bit because I'm using the glitter paste and I emboss some things. And I just do a little bit more technique-y things than I do putting stuff on the page. Now I do matte my photos on this yellow cardstock, and that is because I want the pink and the yellow both represented in this. Now, like I said, there are no icy blue and silvery and all that kind of stuff, which I totally could have done that. Well, I say totally could have done that, but I really don't know if I could have because I don't have a whole heck of a lot of snowy and cold embellishments. I don't like the cold. I am not a fan. I had a very limited amount of snowy stuff, and I've already used all that in my life. And where we live here in California, we don't get snow. So I really don't have the need to buy the snowy stuff, so I usually don't. So I can't really say I could have done a snowy, white, silvery, blue layout because I don't know if I could have. Yeah, I don't know if I could have. I don't have the stuff. I do take this stencil, and this is a Snowflake Stencil from Scrapbook.com, and I am just spreading my glitter paste throughout. This is glitter. Actually, I think it's called Glimmer Paste. It's from Tonic. Every company calls their glitter paste a little bit something, like a little bit a variation on the name. So this is from Tonic. It is Nouveau Glimmer Paste. It is in the color Strawberry Champagne, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. You know me, there hasn't been a glitter paste that I've met that I have not liked. So just look at that beautifulness. I go ahead and I do it in the lower corner as well. And then, like magically, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the page. So I was on the phone with my daughter who is in college right now and is across the country. And I kind of forgot to hit record while I was doing this. So we were chatting and I forgot to hit record. And then I realized, oh shoot, I needed to hit record on this. So I went ahead and hit record. And this is after I had already kind of figured out where the things were going to go. This was definitely a struggle looking through my stash to try to find things that were snowy. So I decided that hearts were great. And I brought in the little pops of black as well, just because this was at Disneyland and, you know, it's almost the black, red, and yellow of Mickey, almost, but it's pink, so we're just going with that. Now these are all little die cut hearts. You saw that I cut out the white border on some of them. I'm just using some embossing ink from Brutus Monroe and some clear embossing powder. And what I do is I take my little tweezers here and I tap it into the embossing powder, and I'm just doing this multiple times because I want real smooth finish on this. I want them to look almost epoxied. So I just go ahead and keep doing that. And then as you can see over on the left, there are my hearts and they're all good. I decide that since I don't have a lot going on this layout, there's not going to be a whole heck of a lot of embellishment. There's not going to be, this layout is definitely not a more is more layout. I decided that I needed to pop up the photo. So I grabbed some fun foam and I went ahead and put it on the back of my photo there, and I got that bad boy situated right on top of the pre-made mixed media. I am using my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to adhere this stuff down. And that is because the glitter paste, or glimmer paste in this case, gives the paper a little bit of a texture, you know, I mean, obviously, like, you know that that's going to happen. And sometimes the best way to adhere things down on top of that is to go ahead and have it with a liquid glue. And as you guys know, the deluxe adhesive from Tonic Nouveau is my absolute favorite. I am going to go ahead and pop up some things just to give it a little bit more dimension. I feel like when I don't have a lot going on my page, I don't have a lot of embellishments, I tend to play with dimension and texture a little bit more. It's really hard on this layout because I literally have nothing. I mean, I have a couple snowflake punches I could have punched out and did even more snowflakes, but I felt like, you know, I've got plenty of snowflakes on this layout already. I just needed a little something else. So I do have this pink little tab that's going to go up there on the photo, and I've got my words all around here. And now I just got to get the hearts down and figure out what they are going to look like on the page. Now in my word stickers, there are a couple ones that say let it go. So I felt like, of course, they had to go on top of this layout somewhere. They just had to. Now, there are a couple different Frozen shows in Disney and the various Disney parks. And the one is kind of like a comedy show type thing that is in Walt Disney World, and they hold it in the shoot. I know it's not MGM anymore. Hollywood Studios in the American Idol Theater. I don't know what that theater is called either. But that's a fun one. Like, that is a fun one. It's kind of comedic, and it's just fun. The one that is here in the Hyperion Theater in Disneyland, Lana and I weren't too big of fans on. It's a retelling of the story. Like, it's a musical. It's a retelling of it, but we just weren't enthralled, I guess, the way we are with the other version of it in Walt Disney World. We actually left early. We left early and went over to the Animation Academy and drew some characters over there because that seemed like more fun than what we were doing. And like, we like Frozen. Like, it's not we're just gonna do this to find something to do. Like, we like Frozen. So yeah, wasn't the best experience, but it needs to be documented. And I'm not going to put the journaling about that on this page. I mean, there's definitely room for it. I'm just not going to do it. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a 6x12 page divider between this page and whatever page goes on the next side, and then I will journal about it there. Now, I do have these Simple Stories brads, and I am going to go ahead and pop some of these down on my layout. And then I don't go with the My Mind's Eye ones because they are gold, and I just decided to go with the silver ones. For some reason, I did not want to mix metals today. I don't usually have a problem mixing metals. I find it just fine to do that, but for some reason with this one, I just didn't want to do that. Now, not all of these brads are from Simple Stories that are on the Simple Stories brad sheet. What I like to do is combine my products together once they get down. That way it's less storage space, and that means I can put more in there. So if I have 4 packs of almost empty brads on a storage sheet in my little basket that I keep my brads in, then that's taking up room. But if I combine those 4 packs into one, then I've got all that extra room so I can add more. That's my philosophy anyway. And that might sound a little bit wackadoo, but you know what? It works for me, and I like combining. I probably need to go through and combine some more now. I gotta take a peek and see what we got going on in there. I have rediscovered these tiny word phrases from Tim Holtz. I feel like I've been putting them on a lot of my layouts recently, and that's good because they've been sitting in my stash for a while. I do love a good tiny word phrase, and you know, these have been there for a while, so it's good that I'm pulling them out. Now I've got just these little teeny pops of black, and I mean little teeny pops of black. The Hello is the biggest black color that is on the layout, and it definitely drives you to look at that phrase since everything else is pink and yellow. Now I am going to go ahead and pop these brads through, and of course I am going to washi tape the back of my layout because, you know, I like a nice smooth layout in the back. Now that yellow word phrase I kind of forgot was there, and it popped out somewhere. I don't know where it even came from, but that doesn't make it onto the layout. I decide to put a brad in the center of the snowflake down here since I had a big brad in the center of the snowflake up at the top. Now when I put those little tiny word phrases on the hearts that were up in the upper left hand corner, one I centered on the heart, one I kind of made go off to the right, and one I made go off to the left. And that's just to give it a little bit of visual interest up there because, again, I don't have a lot going on this layout. There's not a lot of stuff I'm putting on here. So anything small that I can do that way to add some sort of visual interest, I'm going to do. Now I am going to bring in one of these jewel tone Mickeys because this is going in a Disney album, and there really isn't a lot of Disney theming on this page. So when I have an album that's going in a Disney album and it doesn't have Disney theming, I usually add a Mickey head, and that's just a nod to the Disney. So there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Look at that glimmer paste. It's so gorgeous. Go ahead, hit subscribe if you haven't done so. Go ahead and ring the bell so you'll get notifications when I upload, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.